I'm proud to call him a friend. He's a good guy. We still have to get out and golf. He lives up in this golf heaven, Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. This beautiful spot. It has all these rich and famous neighbors and friends who probably tell you some stories about all the people he hobnobs with all the time. He went to the Grammys, took a group of people to the Grammys. He's a big shot. You know, he's kind of a big deal. Okay. Now, did you practice complimenting during lunch? Yes. Consciously? Yes. Did you notice a difference? Yes. It's something else, isn't it? You don't need to necessarily, when you're just out there putting the complimenting practice into your DNA, you don't need to necessarily say you're in a hurry if you're not prospecting somebody. If you compliment the server, if you compliment anybody, as you kind of go around, you are spreading goodwill and you're feeling good about it too yourself, right? So that small little thing is going to impact your long-term results, your social influence. You're going to be the person that people want at parties. They're not even going to know why. They're just going to say, man, if they're around, they'll just make everything more fun. You work a room and you just compliment everybody in the room, you're going to find that you have lots of friends. You're going to have people around you all the times. And they're not even going to realize they're hanging around you just to hear one more. Just tell me one more. And I'll also tell you this. Withholding praise when it comes to growing an organization is 1,000 times more powerful than criticism. So if someone is way off track, if all of a sudden you're not gushing quite as much, if you're not complimenting quite as much, they'll work hard to get back into that sphere. If they've earned their way out of it, it's almost never, I mean, it's a tool of last resort to criticize. So I would avoid that mostly. But if you're a complimenting person and all of a sudden you stop, they're going to feel that and they're going to adjust. It's a good leadership management tool. So anyway, all right. Here's what we're going to talk about. We're going to do 3 different sessions this afternoon. 1 is the direct invite. 2 is the indirect invite. And 3 is the super indirect invite. I'm going to walk you through all 8 steps because when we do the direct invite, I'm going to ask you to do all 8 steps with another person. Then when we do the indirect, I'm going to give you different scenarios, okay? So step number 1, hey, I'm in a hurry, don't have a lot of time, running out the door, only have a few minutes, now's not the time, I got to go, I'm really hurried, I'm in a rush. But I'm glad I caught you, I'm glad I could talk to you, I'm glad you have a second. Then the compliment, whatever that is, depending on the person. Then the invitation. And we're going to talk about the direct invitation. I'm going to come back to that in a second. You're going to make the invitation. I've got an opportunity for you. I thought about somebody that could make a fortune with this. I thought about you. I was thinking about the sharpest person I could think of that's money motivated and wants to make something happen for a company that's expanding in this area. I thought about you. We could make a lot of money together, that type of situation. And we're going to go through all those different things. Then I want to go through 4, 5, 6, and 7 because 4, 5, 6, and 7 is golden. I'm going to just pretend this little 3-day pass is a DVD, okay? Now, if you're face-to-face with them, you guys have heard me do this many times on Network Marketing Pro, but these 4 things, if you do this, it will have your viewership rate up to 80 or 90%. If you don't do this, your viewership of whatever the tool is will be down at 5 or 10%. If you just give somebody a DVD, you tell them you're in a hurry, you compliment them, and you say, hey, I want you to watch this DVD, and then you're done. You have maybe 10%. Only if you have high influence with that person will they watch it. If not, it'll go on the shelf, it'll do whatever. I got this is fine. I thought about that for a second. I said, who has a DVD? And then I was going to have 30 different companies. I'm going to be holding up a different DVD from 30 different companies. I said, maybe I better stick with the bus pass. So if you do that, you're going to have maybe 10%. So if you're saying, nobody's looking at the tool, I sent the link, nobody's looking at it, here's why. You've got to do 4, 5, 6, and 7. And here's 4, 5, 6, and 7. Your name again. Dan. Sorry, I'll get it eventually. Dan the man. If I have a DVD here that explains all the information, does it in about 30 minutes. If I gave you this DVD, would you watch it? Okay. So I go to Simon. Simon, I've got a DVD here. Explains everything that we just talked about. As far as this opportunity is concerned, A to Z. Covers it in about 30 minutes to 15 minutes, 18 minutes, 12 minutes, whatever the DVD happens to be. If I gave it to you, would you watch it?
Yeah, probably would.
Okay. Now, both answers are yes. And if you do this properly, it's going to be yes 99% of the time. 99%. Okay? Literally, I'm not kidding. But you notice I didn't say, will you watch the DVD? I didn't say that. I said, if I haven't given it to you yet. If I gave you this DVD that explained the whole thing, would you view it?
I think I will.
The answer's going to be yes, really. It's going to be yes. Second question, number 5. If I gave it to you, when do you think you could see it for sure, Dan? Sunday. You can see it Sunday? So number 6. So if I called you Monday, you've seen it for sure, yeah? All right. So what's the best number and time for me to call? And I get the time and I get the number and I write it down. And I say, okay, great, we're done. Here it is. Talk to you Monday. And I'm done. You hear me? Now, if you do this properly, I go to John. Hey, John, how you doing? Listen, I don't have a lot of time, running out the door, got a lot of things going on, but I'm glad I caught you. I've always respected, John, the fact that you're a forward thinker. You see things other people don't see. You kind of have a unique vision on the world, right? You're not the average guy. And I've run across an opportunity, a company that's expanding in this area, and I thought about you. I said, hey, maybe this guy, could help me evaluate this, could take a look at it. Maybe if you like what you see, I like what I see. But if you like what you see, maybe we can do something together. All the information's on this DVD right here. It explains it in a very brief period of time. If I gave you a DVD, would you take a look at it? Let me know what you thought. All right. When do you think you could see it for sure? Tomorrow. All right. So if I call you day after tomorrow, you've seen it for sure, yeah? Okay. What's the best number and time for me to call? And I get the time and number. I hand them the DVD, and I'm done. I told you I had to go. I'm gone. So how long did that take? A minute? If I do it, it's the same with every prospect for my whole life. I will tell you, if you stay with 4, 5, 6, and 7, if I would you, when do you think you could do it for sure? So if I called you after that, you've done it for sure, right? All right, what's the best number and time for me to call? That is golden. It's worked for 20 years. It'll work for the next 200. Especially if you do step 1 and 2 and then you do a proper invite. Okay, so I go to Philip. I say, Philip, I've got a CD here. All the information's on it. If I gave it to you, would you pop it into your car and your computer? Would you listen to it? Yeah. All right, when do you think you could do it for sure? I can do it on the way home. On the way home. So if I called you later on tonight, you've done it? Yeah. All right, what's the best number and time for me to call? And I write it down. If you do this properly, you will almost never get objections. Almost never. Let me put it to you this way. I go to David. Try and give me an objection. Ready? Okay. All right. And try and make it feel as natural as you can. David, listen, I don't have a lot of time. I only have a few minutes, but I'm glad I caught you. I've always respected you in business. You have an opportunity, you have an ability to see things that other people can't even see. And I've run across something I'm really excited about, but I want to get your expert view. It's all here on a DVD. And the DVD explains it kind of A to Z, right? Way better than I could. If I gave you this DVD, do you think you could watch it?
Well, possibly.
Possibly?
Yeah.
Well, listen, I don't want to waste your time. I don't want to waste mine. If you can see it for sure, then great. I'll give it to you. If you can't see it, then we'll just move on.
Well, I'm really kind of tied up for the next week and a half. I'm not sure if I can get to it or not.
David, I don't care when you see it.
Okay.
So, but if I gave it to you, would you eventually watch it?
Eventually I could get to it.
All right, great. When do you think you could see it for sure? For sure. Be as comfortable as you can be.
Probably a week from Saturday.
Week from Saturday. Fantastic. So if I call you a week from Sunday, you'll have seen it for sure, right?
Yeah, should be.
Well, you want to give it a few more days just so we're absolutely sure we won't waste each other's time?
Yeah, let's give it 2 more days.
All right. So if I call you a week from, or 2 weeks from Wednesday, for sure, it'll be done, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll have it done by then.
Fantastic. So what's the best number and time for me to call? I get the time, I get the number, here it is, I got to go.
So does it matter if it's that long out?
I don't care. He could tell me he's going to watch it in 2012 on January 14th. So if I say, okay, so if I call you in 2012 on January 15th, you'll see it for sure, right?
But then, when you do call him back on that date and time,
Uh-huh.
he's pretty much seen it?
Well, for the most part.
Okay.
I will tell you, if you do this properly, was there a place where it was comfortable to throw in an objection there?
Yeah, when you asked me about when I could get.
When, but would it have been comfortable to say, tell me more about it?
That would have been earlier on.
I didn't give you a chance. I set it all up. I said all the answers are here. If I would you. Well, tell me more about it. Well, this can do it better than I can, David. That's why I'm giving it to you. It's going to save us both a lot of time. You can hear from people who are way more expert than I am. See what I mean? Yeah.
The when.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've heard of other approaches that might ask how soon.
Pardon me.
Instead of when, it's how soon could you do this? How soon could you do this? Do you think that's semantics?
I wouldn't say how soon. I wouldn't say how soon. What I want to do is if I do this properly, I go to Philip. Philip, if I give this to you, will you watch it?
Yes.
He said yes once. When do you think you could see it for sure? On the way home. He said the time he was going to do it. Now his word is on the line twice. So if I called you later on tonight, you'll have seen it for sure, yeah?
Yep.
That's the third time. So what's the best number and time for me to call? And I get the number and time. He has now built a box that he has to live in. I didn't pressure him one time. I have professionally set up an appointment with him. Now when I call, if he doesn't take the call, he's kind of a jerk. You know what I mean? Versus chasing somebody, bothering somebody. You see what I'm saying? You get this? I wouldn't. The question was, if you said something a week out, should the night before you should remind him of your appointment? Just put it in your calendar. I'm supposed to call so-and-so at 1 o'clock a week from Wednesday. You're almost never going to get that long. Typically, when you do this invite properly, people are going to say sometime in the next 72 hours. And here's what's going on in their brain. If I say, Mitch or Mitchell? Mitch. If I say, Mitch, listen, there's a DVD I really want you to watch. Will you watch it?
Sure.
All right, and I give him the DVD. What are the chances he's going to watch it? Really low. Really low. I give it to him. It goes into the side of the car. It goes into the stack of stuff. There's no deadline. There's no timeline. His word isn't on the line. But now, think about this emotionally if I'm giving this to you. If I give it to Mitch and I say, Mitch, if I give this to you, will you watch it? He says yes.
Sure, yeah.
He's not committed yet. Second question, when do you think you could see it for sure? He goes, oh, internally. He goes, oh. I could see it by Wednesday. So if I call you Thursday, you'll have seen it for sure, yes? Now he's going, oh. All right, this is like, he's serious. Okay. What's the best number and time to call? I write down the time and number. I hand it to him, and it's like it's ticking. Tick, 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 tick. Thursday's coming. Tick, 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 tick. I told him I would. Tick, 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 tick. I gave him my word. He's going to be calling. I told him I would. Now it's on the top of the pile. Now it's going to bother him if he doesn't pop it in pretty quick. If it sits there, it's going to nag at him and nag at him and nag at him and nag at him until he pops it in and watches. Yes, Simon.
So what happens if you call on Thursday
I'll get to that.
and you get the voicemail?
I'll get to that. Don't worry about that. Yeah.
What if you want to use this technique to represent to someone you've already presented?
I'll talk to you about how to use the same technique on how to represent to somebody that you've already prospected.
What happens to me is that people say, well, I'm not sure when I have time to watch, but give to me and I will give you a call when I've watched it.
Okay, he says people will say, give it to me and I'll give you a call when I've watched it. They want to take control. Okay? No problem. You have the choice. I go to Ronald and I say, Ronald, I've got all, I go through the invite, etc. All the information is on this DVD. If I give it to you, will you watch it?
Well, I'm really interested,
Great.
but I'm not sure when I have time to watch it.
But he's not sure when he's going to have time to watch it. Hey, listen, I don't want to waste your time. I don't want to waste mine. I just want to make sure if I give it to you that you're going to watch it.
Okay, well, I will watch it.
All right, great. He said, okay, I will watch it. So when do you think you could see it for sure?
Well, I'm not sure, really busy next week, but I think between now and 2 weeks. then
Not sure, really busy, sometime between now and 2 weeks.
I will have time, I think.
Let's do this. As professionals, let's not waste each other's time. Why don't you set a time for sure that you'll have seen it? Can you think of that time in your mind?
Well, I think between now and 2 weeks, I have watched it.
Okay, so between now and 2 weeks, he thinks he'll watch it. So if I call you 2.5 weeks from now, you'll have seen it for sure, correct?
Well, perhaps it's better if I call you when I've watched it.
Perhaps it's better if you call me and say, listen, I don't want to waste my time. I don't want to waste yours. I don't want to chase anything around. I just want to know a time. Let me know the time. I'll give you the DVD and we'll move on. I'm not going to give him the DVD unless he gives me a time. Really?
Feeling really uncomfortable.
No, I'm telling you, I'm in control. This is my opportunity. I have the gift.
I'm starting to feel uncomfortable.
No, I'm not being unreasonable in anything that I'm asking.
Yeah, I've done this, and I complied. I gave him the DVD.
Don't ever give the DVD. No, no, no. Hey, let me ask you how that worked out for you. Still never heard back. I'm telling you. So, but here's the thing. I'm not saying be a jerk about it. I'm saying being professional about it. Be a professional that says, look, I don't want to waste my time. I don't want to waste yours. I don't want to chase you around. I don't want to wait for your call. I'm just, look, if I give it to you, will you watch it? That's all. Yeah. Yes? Is there any difference between this and face-to-face? There's no difference at all between this and face-to-face. I don't send them the link. I don't put anything in the mail. I don't do anything until I have a commitment for the next thing. Yeah. What are my numbers? What do you mean? Out of 10 CDs that have passed out, how many will view it? For me, it's 80 to 90% will view. Same things. If you do this process properly, just like I outlined it here, which is we're going to be practicing all afternoon, you'll have 80 to 90% will view it. 80 to 90, not 5 to 10 that you have right now. Even by email, it's less likely that they'll view the whole thing if it's a website because they get distracted, things happen, they'll watch partway through, whatever. It's harder for them to go through the whole thing than a physical tool, my personal experience. Like I say, you hit that 5-minute wall online. Overseas, listen, like I say, if I'm really prospecting somebody, if I can have a physical tool, that's always my first choice. Always my first choice. For speed, sometimes online stuff can work, but a physical tool just has a much more stickiness, much more focus, much more reality, feels real, much more real. Yeah. I'll get to there. I'll get to that in a second. Yep. How do we go from a telephone call to a face-to-face? You can either say, you know, listen, I'll swing by your office. I'll meet you for coffee. I'll drop it in the mail. You'll have it tomorrow. I'll see you the next time we see each other, or whatever. I mean, but you drop it in the mail, or set up time to meet them face-to-face, and then hand off the tool and be done. Yeah, yeah.
How do you disengage when someone, you know, you've gone through that and they're like, nah,
What do you do if somebody says, no, I don't think so? It's almost never. Almost never does somebody say, no, I won't do it. If you do these 8 steps, almost never. Huh? If they say, is this MLM, we'll talk about objections in a second. If you do this properly, like I say, you're almost never going to get an objection because you're handing them the thing that's going to give them the exposure. You're making it very simple on them. You're not being hard on them. You're not tricking them. You're not taking them somewhere to lock the door. Same process to invite to a home presentation. No, it's slightly different. We'll talk about that later on how to invite actually to events. That's all about specifics. And I'll just earmark that, and I'll come back and talk to it. To feel like being pushy. I'm not being pushy. I'm not being pushy. And that was an extreme example. That almost never happens like that. If you go talk to somebody and say, and they're just, they won't commit, say, you know what, now's probably not the time. And I just move on, but I don't give it to them. Do not give it to them without the commitment and without the time commitment. You'll ruin that person. You'll like pour gasoline on that grass. It's done. Yeah. We haven't even gotten to the not interested piece. Interested or not interested. We'll get there in a second. I have an abundance mentality when it comes to tools. I don't go run around picking up tools from somebody. Send it back to me. You know, I don't care. I mean, what is it nowadays? $1? You know, 50 cents. What's the point? You know, give it to somebody who's looking for opportunity. I mean, you know, but we'll get to after the stage 2. Now, use them to get them interested, and then you can come to hold the meeting. Here's what I told you before, and we'll talk about inviting to events later on. But the best exposure is always going to be inviting somebody to an event. Always. You're going to get the best results of the people who are actually in the room, but it's the hardest thing to do, and it blows more people out of our profession than anything else. Somebody invites 10 people, nobody shows up, they just say they become suicidal. They're just they can't handle it. So if you can get them to an event, do it. If you can't, immediately bail to a tool and let them, you know, understand. Here's our goal through all of recruiting. Here's all our only goal is to help another person understand what it is that we do. Not join. Understand. If they understand what it is that we do, they'll decide on their own. They're either at high noon or they're not. If they're at high noon, they understand it, they're at high noon, they're going to say yes. If they understand it, they're not at high noon, they're going to say no. It's as simple as that. Our goal is about understanding. Our goal is to help the blind see. Our goal is to help the deaf hear. Explore possibilities with another human being. That's our goal. It's not to close somebody. It's just to help them understand. Once you get it in your head, all we're trying to do is use these tools to help another person understand what it is that we do, let them make a decision on their own. Then, now it gets a little bit easier versus, okay, I got to get somebody. I got to find me a runner. You know what I mean? Those types of thoughts, yeah. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about how we deal with objections. We'll talk about that extensively tonight. Jim. Right. He's viewing this, isn't this like a gold bar? It's like a $100 bill. Would you have any trouble? giving that away if it was a gift. Right. Exactly. And I will tell you this, and Richard and Sarah, some of these, higher ranking, and I don't know a lot of you, whatever opportunities you're from, it's hard to make less than $100 an hour in prospecting, in my view, eventually. You're going to get paid more than $100 an hour for every hour that you spend talking to people. Minimum. Now, if you only prospect for 4 hours, and 3 months later you've made $400, well, that's because you only spent the 4 hours. And some of you, if we had a stopwatch, we followed you around, say, okay, Travis, you ready? As soon as you start talking to a prospect, we're going to click the stopwatch button. Ready, start, go. And when you're done talking to them, we're going to stop. And then you're going to sit down in front of them, go again. And then we're going to stop. Then you're going to follow up with them, go, stop. How many hours do you think we'd add up over the course of a week? I will tell you, very few people in this room have more than 2 or 3 hours of pure prospecting time per week. When you really think about it. The rest is trying to massage the existing people in your group, stay in the business, come on, do more activity, go into meetings. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Being that I've kind of ruined a lot of my warm market.
You haven't ruined them.
Well, did it the wrong way.
I understand.
This right here, let's say I have a mentality of going out to the cold market and just prospecting people. Do you ever have a problem with the compliment as people seeing it as BS?
Well, if it is BS, don't do it. I mean, his question was, he has a limiting belief at the moment that his warm market is irredeemable. He can never get it back. Nobody will ever join. They all hate him or hate it. And all he can do is talk to strangers. That's the only chance he has. None of those are true. None of those are true. Because cold market, what is warm market? Somebody who at one time was cold market, right? You meet people, you build relationships. You don't need to prospect them that second. Build relationships. Connect with humanity, right? And as you connect with humanity, if you do 1 or 2 people a day, the next year you're going to have 700 people to talk to. 700 is plenty. There's ways to go back to your warm market. And that mostly that's an apology. Listen, I screwed it up. I did you a disservice. I ran off at the mouth. I was an amateur. I didn't know. I feel like I owe it to you to help you understand what it is that I do. I don't care if you do it or not, but will you let me help you understand what it is that I do? Please, just for me, so I can take it off my conscience and I can feel better about it. I'll make it easy on you. All the information's on this DVD. You don't need to listen to me anymore. If I gave it to you, would you watch it? Just for me. Would you, please? All right. Even though I know you've already said no, and I know I already ran off at the mouth, and, I was that guy at the party. When do you think you can see it for sure? All right. So if I call you tomorrow, you've seen it for sure, yeah? All right. So what's the best number and time for me to call? All right, here it is. Thank you for letting me kind of redeem myself. I appreciate it very much. I'll talk to you tomorrow. See, is that hard or easy? Right? Could you do that with anybody that you've already talked to? Not that hard, yeah. What do you think about sending people to an event that you're not there? Very risky. It's just very risky. If you have a friend there that will kind of help catch that person and support that person, then it's okay. Again, you might want to send them a tool to just kind of set the stage. But sometimes, especially, I work with a company that's all over the world. That's really risky because some countries, it's the wild, wild west. People aren't as mature as they should be. You send them into the meeting and they go, well, gosh, you could work with somebody local. You know, somebody pulls them aside and pretty soon you got an issue. So, you know, just make sure that if you have a friend there that'll do it, it's still the hardest thing in the world is to send a person into a room full of strangers and you're not even there. The chances of them going are so low. Such a scary environment. Walk into something like that. What? Yeah, overseas. Yeah, I know. She's worked in Asia a lot. In the Asian markets, man, it's the wild, wild west. You go to Russia, it's the wild, wild west. You know, some people have been around for a little while. Whew. Wild, wild east, yeah. But that's true anywhere. There's always small-minded people in every market, in every company in the world. There's small-minded people that don't understand the reciprocal nature of what we do, that don't understand this room. You know, from people from all different companies and all different walks can come together without being piranha eating each other alive. You know, some of those people wouldn't last very long in this room. You know, people go, hey, 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 you know, what are you doing? Right? So, all right, so you got this? Do you understand? Now, if I gave you this DVD, would you watch it? You have to use these words. And I'm very, very, I'm usually resistant to exact scripts, but I will tell you this exact script works in every culture in the world, with every different personality in the world, with every company in the world. It's worked for 20 years and it'll work for you. If I gave you this, and we're just going to, for the sake of our role playing, we're just going to focus on a DVD. Whatever your company has, you can insert tool there. Okay? If I gave you this DVD, would you watch it? Yes or no? And you wait for the answer. You ask the question, you be quiet. If I gave this to you, would you watch it? Yes. When do you think you could see it for sure? Wait for the answer. So if I called you after that, you'll have seen it for sure, yes? Yes. What's the best time and number for me to call? 10 a.m., here's the number. All right, here it is, I got to go. And then you're done. Okay? Now, red people. Let's talk about the invite. Red people are going to be prospecting the greens with a direct approach. First one, greens, I want you to just go along with the reds. Okay? Reds, I want you to use direct script number 1 on page 7. It's going to take a little bit of practice to get there. But when you told me you wanted to have a new car and couldn't figure out a way to get it, were you serious or you just kidding around? I was serious. Great, I think I got a way for us to get it. All the information is on this DVD, If I, Would You, and down the road you go. When you told me you wanted to put your kids in a better school, couldn't quite figure out a way to do it, were you serious about that or were you just kidding around? I was serious. When you told me you wanted to have more free time with your family, were you serious? When you told me you wanted to one of the 2 breadwinners in the family wanted to be able to quit their job, were you serious? You just kidding around. When you told me you hated your boss, were you serious? You just kidding around. Great. I think I got a way to fix it. All the information's on this DVD. If I gave it to you, would you watch it? Okay? So reds, I want you to go through all 8 steps with a green. Just one person. I want you to do it with one person, and when you're done, come back and sit down, okay? Ready? Go. Okay. Question for you. How many felt a little uncomfortable? You're going to stay uncomfortable, but by the end of this weekend, you're going to be comfortable. This is going to become second nature to you. This is going to become your default reaction. Automatic, no problem, every day. Do the deal. Okay? You're going to get, you could just roll this off the tongue, any situation, any person, anytime. In a hurry, compliment, if, invite, if I would you, when did you do it right away? If I called you after that, you'll have done it. All right, what's the best number and time for me to call? I got to go. Automatic. Default. Reaction. Okay, now I want to do the same thing. This time I want you to talk to somebody you do not know. I know a bunch of you cheated and talked to your spouses and friends and buddies and... All right, let's pick another one from direct approach. Different one, direct approach. Huh? Red, talk to the greens. And if there's too many, I think we have a few too many reds, find another red, doesn't matter. Just find somebody else. Let's use the one I've teamed up with a company that's opening or expanding in the blank area. Page 8, like the fifth one down. Everything, the whole deal. Whole deal. Now listen, this should be, it should be a minute long, but I'll give you 2. 2 minutes to get the thing done and to have passed off the ball and be done with that invite. And as soon as you're done doing it, then reverse it back with the person right back to you. Okay? Ready? Go. Find somebody you do not know. Okay, question. How many people felt a little bit more comfortable the second time? Guys, understand, this is only 2 times. You're going to do this like 50 times today. You're going to get so comfortable, it's unbelievable. It's going to become second nature. But on a scale of 1 to 10, for the first time that you did it last time, what did you feel? Scale of 1 to 10. As far as 10 being super comfortable and effective, 1 being terrible. The first time. I'm sorry? 3, 7, 5, 2, 5, 3, 5. All right, second time. 4, 10, 8, 6. All right, so just in one time. Do you understand this? You know what most people do? They go out to their prospects. They do it one time. They fall on their face and they say, I don't ever want to do that again. That was awful. Right? Okay, we're going to keep going till we get you all to 10s. All of you are going to be 10s by the time we're done this weekend. Every single one of you. All right, let's pick another one. When I thought about quality people I thought that I'd really enjoy working with, I thought about you. All right. This is like the 6th or 7th in the middle of page 8. When I thought about, and don't worry about the exact words here. When I thought about great people, I thought about you. When I thought about quality people, when I thought about people I liked, when I thought about, understand, just get the concept. When I thought about people it'd be fun to work with, I thought about you. Right? When I thought about somebody who deserved something great, I thought about you. Right? You understand the concept? Let the words be your words. Think about someone in your mind that you just smile when you think about them. You know that one? Or those people in your mind? Who are those people that you just, then they come to mind, you just smile. It's like, it would be so, the person that would be the ultimate super fun to work with. You don't know if you could get them or not. But that's the one I want you to think about, okay? Find somebody you have not done this with before. Reds, you start. Ready? Go. All 8 steps. Prior to the start of this exercise, before we did any of these role plays, on a scale of 1 to 10, I want you to write in your notes what your level of confidence was prior to doing this for the last 20 minutes. What your level of confidence was when it came to prospecting before we started all this. What was it? What rated on a scale of 1 to 10? Okay? Write it down. Before we did all this. And then I want you to rate what it was after you did it one time. And then I want you to put another number after you did it twice. And then another number after you did it the third time. Could be the same number. Who knows? You might have gone up, you might have gone down, you might have stayed the same. How many people felt more comfortable the third time? Okay? This is going to become habitual, and I will tell you the one thing about network marketing, it is highly, highly repetitive. Some of you creative souls need to just let that go. Because you're just going to say the same thing and teach people to say the same thing over and over and over for the next 20 years, the next 30 years. You know what you need to do with your creativity? Is use your creativity to teach people and to get them to understand to do this repetitive thing. Use all of your leadership to lead people to do this repetitive thing. This is the linchpin of everything that we do. If you don't get this, you're only going to go so far. The gateway skill is prospecting. And to be able to do it with comfort, to be able to do it in your sleep, to be able to do it as a reflex. And not only do it, but teach it. What we just did in the last 15 minutes, could you teach that to somebody else? Could you go home this next week and have a role play party at your home for 3 hours and just role play with everybody in your group? And would they do better after that? Yes, and you're going to have to repetitively train on that and teach on it in order to be able to get it to stick. But if you find it falling apart, you're going to have to do it again. Yes. Huh? Sure. Somebody who what I would do if I was same. It's the same. Well, come on up. What's your name again?
Victoria.
Victoria, have a seat. So me and Victoria are sitting together, first class. You enjoy the meal?
I did.
Yeah, it's nice up here. I love it when they pull the curtain. It's so awesome. You know what's even funner? After they pull the curtain, you go back and you just peek out. Victoria, yeah? So I'm sitting with Victoria. I said, so Victoria, where are you headed? Are you headed home or away?
Yeah, I'm headed back to Delaware.
Back to Delaware, back home? So what do you do back there?
I sell real estate.
Really? Really? How, and what's going on with the economy? Oh, I'm sorry. She sells real estate.
I sell real estate.
So what is the economy affecting your business?
Well, yes. I'd say about 40% since last year. I'm down about 40%.
So 40% in the last year. I will tell you what. I have a situation where I know a lot of people involved in the real estate business that are doing tremendous things because they've shifted some of their leadership and they've diversified their income a little bit. Because if they put all the eggs in the real estate basket, you know, that's only going to take them so far. A lot of friends that have done that. And I'll tell you something. You look sharp. You know, you're a nice, pleasant person. I've got something that might interest you. It might not. But my friends that are diversifying their income in real estate, they do what I do. They're involved with what I'm involved with. And I've got all the information that for what it is. Let's say we're touching down or whatever. I got all the information. Don't have time to really totally get into it right now. But if I gave you a DVD, Victoria, would you watch it?
Sure.
All right. When do you think you could see it for sure?
By tomorrow afternoon.
So, all right. So if I called you the day after tomorrow, you've seen it for sure, yeah?
Yeah.
All right. I'll tell you what. once you give me the best way to contact you, do you have a card?
Yeah.
All right, I get the card. And what's the best time to be able to talk to you about?
In the evenings is usually the best.
All right, in the evenings. Well, here it is. I hope you enjoy it. And I'll look forward to talking to you day after tomorrow. And have a great time back in Delaware. Take care.
Thanks.
All right. All right. Go ahead. If I'm just getting on the plane, usually, you can sit down again if you want. Huh? Usually, I just don't get into it too much on purpose. What I do is I always go to the tool. They say, what is it about? And I say, well, it's all on the DVD. It'll explain it to you. I don't want to, go into a presentation here on the plane. I'm going to eat my food. I'm going to read my book, and I'm going to just kind of hang out. But, you're sharp. You deserve something. All of it's there. You'll have time to review it when you want. Sometimes, and in my company, I've been on the DVD. So they pop the DVD into the laptop, and they start watching, and they do this. I'm like, yeah, I'm the guy. Which is actually a disadvantage for me when it comes to recruiting because it takes away the third party. I'd prefer if it wasn't, but anyway, it's led to a few funny moments, believe me. Yeah. So she set the stage. She didn't get the contact information. By the time she tracked her down, she'd already loved what she saw and joined the company. I wish I could tell you that didn't happen very often, but it does. It's just that last step. What's the best number and time for me to call? What's the best way for me to contact you? So Victoria, did you feel pressured at any point during that conversation? No, it was just comfortable, right? Just having a normal conversation, just being pleasant. And, you just set it up. You just go through it and you're done. You're done in a minute. You're done in 2 minutes. Yeah.
Eric, what I liked about it was the great questions you asked her up front. You found out, what she does, where she lives, her industry she's in. You kind of just set up, the entry to the 8 steps.
Right. Yeah. What he said is the questions that I asked up front to kind of find out a little bit about her, what might be her hot button, something that I could tell a story about.
The fact that you told her the story about your friends that are involved in the same industry,
Third party.
the good entrance, it was almost as important as
But you know what? It's just common sense, right? You're being a pleasant person talking to somebody else, asking about what's going on in their life. Is the economy affecting you? What's happened? She volunteers. It's down 40%. Yeah, I've heard the same thing. I got a lot of friends doing the same thing. Looking for ways to diversify their income. And they can't diversify inside of real estate anymore. So yeah, I feel for you. But now, I might have a solution for you. I don't know if you'd be interested or not, but I have a solution.
But if you have friends with a story, with a similar story, and you are telling this story to her, then it's much easier than if you are just trying to get into...
Yes, again, I didn't even tell her a specific story. I just said I have friends in the same situation. And they've realized that they need to diversify their income. And versus me saying, Victoria, when will you wake up? How long are you going to stay in real estate? Are you stupid or what, or something? You think it's just going to bounce right back? I mean, come on. How many open houses can you do? There's no buyers. Hello? The banks have shut everything down. That's one approach, right? Yeah. Then I don't want to talk to them. He said, what if they don't want to talk to you? Then I don't want to talk to them. I don't care. There's 7 billion people in this world. Somebody doesn't want to talk to you, cool. Who cares? You know what, typically on the plane, it's a very simple approach, is, hi, how you doing? Headed home or away? Where are you from? That's it. Yeah. I don't even usually get into what do you do. Sometimes I do. But where are you from? I'm from Phoenix, and I always gasp, oh, really? Phoenix? I'm just expanding my business in Phoenix. You're not going to believe this. It's unbelievable. We were put together for a reason. Yeah. What if they tell you, can't you just tell me a little bit about it? Say, you know, look, the DVD will do a better job than I could. I understand, I just don't want to. The DVD will do it better than I could. You know, I don't want to turn into, you know, this isn't PowerPoint Airlines. I don't want to do a presentation. You know, if you feel like doing it, if you like watching it, watch it, but watch it in your own time. It's okay. No problem. You're in charge. You understand? You're getting the feeling. You're in charge. You've got the gift. You got the gold bars. You got the $1,000 bills. You're in charge. Yeah.
When they tell me that and ask me, you know, what's it about, I usually turn around and say, look, it's too much money for you for me to screw it up. Here's the DVD.
Yeah, she said, when people ask what's it about, she said, it's too much money for you for me to screw it up. That feels a little bit like a line, but I don't know. I mean, I might roll my eyes at that one if you did it with me. You know, if you just said, you know, hey, it explains it better than I could. You know, watch it when you get a chance, and, you know, I'll talk to you Tuesday or Wednesday or whatever. You know what I mean?
Eric?
Yeah.
What if they ask you, well, what do you do? Because I get that a lot. And you just come out and say, well,
It depends on my mood. People, if they ask, what do you do? It depends on my mood. There's no best answer. If I'm kind of in a spunky mood, I say I rescue people from desperate lives. That's what I do. And they're like, what? I said, man, there's a lot of people out there that are really hurting, and I help them go from a situation where they're unhappy to where they're happy, where they're not making money to making money. I help people go into business for themselves. I help people create cash flow. That's what I do. Sometimes I just say, I'm a network marketing professional. What do you do? And they go, oh, what is that? Is that computers or something? I said, no. Multi-level marketing, network marketing, you know where all the money is? That's what I do. They're like, really? People make money in that? Well, yeah. Hello. Come on. Are you kidding me? If I feel like it. I don't prospect everybody. If I want to prospect them, then I'm just going to say, you know, well, look, you're sharp. You know, let's say they're a traveling salesperson. They're on the road 5 days a week, 200 days a year. Think they like being on that airplane? So you sick of this airplane, or you excited to be on this airplane? If you're excited, you're going on vacation. If you're going to work, you're sick of it. So you sick of this airplane? Yeah, kind of sick of it. Would you like to get off, or at least only do it when you're going on vacation? Yeah, I'd like that. So, you know, listen, you're sharp. You look like you could do something. Where are you from? New York. Oh my gosh, really? I'm just expanding my business in New York. This is unbelievable. Wow. If I gave you this, I got all the information. It's right here. To be able to totally take charge of your life, instead of having that movie up in the air being all about you, you can have a different future if you want to. All the information's on this DVD. If I gave it to you, would you watch it? If I get any resistance, I say, you know, hey, don't mean to push. Enjoy your in-flight magazine. Yeah. If you only have somebody's email address and you do the verbal setup, I would send them an email and say, listen, I need to talk to you by phone. You either call me or can you send me your phone number and let's chat. That's it. Yeah. Ever an opportunity to lead with the product? Sure. All the time. If you're passionate about your product, which you should be, sure, you can lead with the product. I mean, I will tell you, my personal experience is if you lead with the opportunity, it's easier to talk about the product. If you lead with the product, it's a little bit more difficult to switch it to opportunity. That's my personal feeling on it. But I will tell you, there's some very successful $1 million earners that they're just passionately being product ambassadors every single day, and then they let people know that there's a financial opportunity behind it. For me, for my career, I've pretty much led with the opportunity and let them know what product made it possible. That's been my experience. Okay, yeah?
Eric, when you're talking to a stranger like on a plane, do you ever let them know the kind of income you make?
I try not to. The question was, when you're on an airplane, do you ever let people know what kind of income you make? I try not to because it's completely unrelatable. Yeah, I make $1 million a year. How you doing? That's tough. You know what I mean? People can't relate to that, and it's intimidating, and they don't really believe it. And what do you say when they ask me how much money do I make? I make a lot. I do a very, very serious income, enough where I have choices, and I have freedom, and I have time, and I have happiness, and I have, the things that you want, I guess. And if you don't have that, all you have to do is say, you know what, I work with people who have time and have money and have all these different things, and I'm working towards having the same thing because I was meant to do more than what I've done so far on this earth. I was just looking for a vehicle, and I found one. You want to find out what I found, I can give it to you. It's all on the DVD, Now, does this stuff sound like, oh my gosh, those are just magical words I need to write down as fast as I can? No, it's more of a mindset. It's connecting to the rest of the world. None of what I just said was a script, but it's words that I've used 1,000,000 times, 1,000 times when I talk to people, because that's what I do is I talk to people. Now, I have to be in a mood to recruit because of my introverted nature. I have to psych up to recruit. Because naturally, I'll just open up the book or I'll turn on the movie and I'll be gone. Bring me the stuff, and I don't need the chatty Kathy next to me, asking me every million questions in the world. Sometimes I'm not in the mood. Sometimes I've done a weekend like this. I tell you, after this weekend is done, I'm not going to want to talk to somebody for like a week. I want to be done talking. You know what I mean? So when I get on this plane to head out of here, the person sitting next to me is not going to find the chatty guy. I'm just talking about how my life works. You know what I mean? Sometimes I'm tired. Sometimes I don't feel like it. But when I do, or if I see somebody who impresses me, I say, you know what? I'm tired. I'm worn out. But I had to say something. You know that flight attendant that is just so sharp? It's just over the top. Amazing. You got to just say, look, I just have to say. You are so sharp. You are so on it. You deserve more than this. You deserve to have freedom. Because you know what? You're more than just a flight attendant. You're a leader. You can do more than just make sure these people fly safely. You can lead hundreds, if not thousands of people, and I've got an opportunity that you might want to look at to be able to do that. You know what I mean? So, you might not even be interested. This might be the happiest thing you ever want to do. You're going to ride this into the sunset. But if you don't, I've got a DVD that explains it all. If I gave it to you, would you watch it? Yeah.
How does dress affect how you say that? I mean, if you were sitting there and you're sweating your drugs and you were just relaxed going back, would you think...
Does how I'm dressed affect my posture? It never affects my posture. It might affect how they respond to me. But it never affects my posture. Because, at a certain point, Richard will tell you, if he feels like sucking the oxygen out of the room, he can do it. He just, because he feels like it. He's going to turn it on and do it, whether he's wearing sweats or he's wearing a suit. That's just, being around our profession long enough, you're going to be able to turn your charisma on if you need to. It's different kinds of charisma. Jim Faubert's charisma is different than Richard's, which is different than Sarah's, which is different than Ann's, which is different than Lisa's. Everybody's got different kinds. Some people are just forces of nature. Whirling dervish, people are just wow. They just like watching them. Other people are very quiet. They have confidence, but they have a quiet confidence. Yeah. How selective am I when it comes to prospecting? At this stage, to be honest, pretty selective. Just because I don't want to be bothered. And I know that's bad. Sometimes I'm selective, sometimes I'm not. If somebody has an attitude at all, I'm done. If somebody's a naturally negative person or a cynic, and they're going to want to just, well, what about this? And well, what about that? I'm like, well, what about we stop talking about this? I'm not going to try and convert a cynic. If somebody's negative, and just had their heart broken, I have no problem leading them out of there. But, pretty much give everybody an opportunity. You run into somebody, if they smile, if they're sharp, if they're nice, if they're a good person, somebody I'd like to work with. If they're not somebody I'd like to work with, that's the only thing I'm selective about. If they wouldn't be fun to hang out with, yeah. It depends. I'm going to get to objections tonight. Okay, I'm going to talk about objections in a lot of detail tonight. Because there's only 8 of them, 10 of them. That's all there is. And you learn how to answer that, you'll be fine. So I'll cover that tonight. All right, here's what I want to do. I want you guys to now role play a cold market prospect. A cold market prospect. And all I want you to do, I don't even know if this one is in here, but I want you to do is I want you to say, hey, now's not the time. I don't have a lot of time to talk about this, but you're very sharp. You just gave me great service, or you're just, you really got your act together. Where are you from? And they give you the answer, whatever the answer is. And whatever that answer is, oh my gosh, I'm just looking to expand my business in that area. I wonder if you'd do me a favor. Would you take, if I gave you a DVD that explained what I'm doing, it's now getting ready to expand in your area, would you take a look at it and let me know if you think it'll work in that market? Would you do that for me? Okay, and then go through the rest of the process, okay? Cold market. Compliment them, let them know, ask them where they're from, and then go through the rest of the process. Got it? All right, Reds, you start. Ready? Go. Pick somebody you haven't used before. All right. So, after this practice, how many people feel a little bit more comfortable with the process? Okay, each time that you do it, you're going to feel a little bit more comfortable with a different person. There aren't too many surprises, are there? Pretty much the same thing. You got a little initial setup, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, get off the, finish the conversation. Whether you're doing it over the phone, doing it via Skype, doing it face-to-face, whatever it happens to be. A great question for the rest of your life is, where are you from? And the great answer for the rest of you, especially in Vegas, you can just run around and say, where are you from? Where are you from? Where are you from? How you doing? You having a good time? Where are you from? I'm from here. I'm from there. I'm from here. I'm from there. Really? I'm looking to expand a business in that area. You know anybody who's sharp, money motivated, looking for ambitious, looking for something to be able to fight this economic crisis, maybe hates their job? You know anybody? Well, yeah, I know some people. Really? I'll tell you what, I got all the information right here. If I give it to you, would you watch it? Maybe you can introduce me to somebody. I'll make it worth your while. Right? Indirect approach there. Super indirect, actually. Yeah.
What if you've got a situation where you just don't have any tools on it, which generally
I'd say, if I sent you something, would you review it? If you don't have tools on you, which is why I said always be prepared. Always, 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 always. You got to be ready to do business. You got to have the doors open. Be ready to have customers all the time. Business card with the website. Again, in my personal experience, send somebody to a website, you're going to get a vastly diminished response. Website of the tool, same thing. I'm just telling you, people will watch 5 minutes, 7 minutes, maybe. If you better hope your tool's that long, because if it's longer, if you're not face-to-face with them, or if you don't have a tangible physical tool, the results are just diminished. I mean, they're just very much smaller. Yeah.
Because you told us to print tools with us,
Mm-hmm.
the cab driver on the way down here, we gave him CD, and we met him at lunch.
Yeah.
At 9, we're setting the second step now.
Right. So he said because we told him to be prepared, the cab driver on the way here gave him a CD, and they met for lunch, and now they're setting up the next exposure. Right? Again, it's just simple steps. I mean, these things don't, you're not going to find a lot of innovation in here. Same stuff. You're going to say this thing for the rest of your life. And you're going to teach people to say the same thing for the rest of your life. Yes? It's a kindergarten, I know, but you know what? I've never really trained it this deep. I know, it's my fault too. You don't think I'm not kicking myself too. Believe me, it's been 23 years and I've never done a weekend like this in 23 years. We spend an hour here and 15 minutes there. I talk about little stuff on Network Marketing Pro, but when you put it together, and the key to all this is I could train you guys all day long, but when you start talking to each other, and you experience it and you practice, you kind of go, oh, okay. And you see what kind of an introduction needs to be, and you see what kind of mirroring you need to do with other human beings. And the going out and scavenger hunt yesterday, and that was Richard's idea. We did the scavenger hunt yesterday, Richard. That was Richard's idea. We had a possible 30 total points, 30 different people, and I'm taking 4 couples, the top 4 that had, I think it's 25 or more points that they got out of 30 in 2 hours. One of them was an astronaut, or a former astronaut. Somebody actually found an astronaut. It was unbelievable. But anyway, 10 grand? No, I told him you were bringing it. I'm giving them all they can eat at the steakhouse tonight, 5:15. You be quiet, Miss Richie Rich. Yes. She's saying that I don't really understand the nuances of you're saying that you have some DVDs that don't have things that would be beneficial?
Well, I'm saying is it, we want to keep them small in a sense, but I could add things to the, I've got multiple choices of what I could give them.
You have multiple choices of what you can give them.
So is it going to be, I stick with the stories that are going to.
Again, you're gonna pick what you want in your system. Fragmented opportunities have fragmented systems and too many choices, and you as an organization, you as your culture need to decide what your tools, what your process is going to be, ABC, point, guide, direct, what's the next step, what's the exposure process. A confused mind does nothing. So if you add too many things into your system, then you're going to get a consequence for that. You got to decide. I can't get, it'll be impossible to cover specifically because of all the different opportunities in here. Not really. I mean, what's going to tell the story? What's going to help a person understand and answer the questions that they would have if they were having you do a presentation? That's all. Yeah. Yeah, you can't give the DVD too quickly.
Is
When you're done, once you don't give the DVD or the CD or whatever it is until you're done with the whole thing and they've given you the commitment. They've answered the 4 questions. Then you give it to them. Or once number 7's done, yeah. Yeah, but I guess same thing. Yes, sir. Doesn't matter. I mean, whatever your company system has. And again, I'm a fan of DVD, but I'm also a fan of CD. CD has repetition. DVD will give a complete presentation arc. Both are good third-party tools. Sometimes websites can walk a person through it and do it pretty good. Like I say, there's a lot of distractions when you get onto websites, and people tend to, pop over to their email or pop over to Google and do this or do that, and all of a sudden they missed an important point. So face-to-face, if you have presentation tools, you can sit down with somebody and walk through the presentation. Third-party tools, face-to-face, that's good too. If we sat down for coffee, would you join me? Yeah, that kind of thing. Yeah? All right, last one.
I've been involved in a company that's pretty adamant about not giving a DVD but watching it with them.
So you're with a company that's pretty adamant about not giving the DVD but watching it with them. It's always going to be better. There's no question that if you sit down with somebody face-to-face, you're going to have a better result. But the practicalities of a busy lifestyle, you're going to, the reason why they're telling you that is because when people just hand out DVDs, they get a 5 or 10% watch rate. If they do this, they get a 90%. 80, 90. Okay? And I'm going to talk about what happens if they didn't watch it when you call them and all that stuff. I'll talk about all that. All right, here's what we're going to do. It is now 3:43. We're going to take a 12-minute break. We're going to come back. We're going to go from 3:50 until 5 o'clock, and then we'll take our dinner break, okay? So have a quick break. We'll see you back in a minute. I want to come back for a moment to plan, do, review. As you go through this, people say, well, I've tried this, I've used this tool and I'm just not getting any results. Plan, do, review, and you'll be able to find out why. Why is that happening? Make adjustments. Some people say, well, I've got 3 or 4 different tools. Well, take the next 5 prospects, use tool number 1. Take the next 5 and use tool number 2. Take the next 5, use tool number 3. Judge your results. You should be able to know if you sit down with somebody face-to-face, you're going to get 1% result. If you send somebody to a website, you're going to get another percentage. If you just give someone a tool, you're going to get another percentage. If you give someone a tool using this process, you're going to get a higher percentage, right? You should know. And then based upon that, because there's no surprises. Hello. There's no surprises inside of our profession. It's just the same stuff. Same stuff. There's differences between companies when it comes to systems. There are different systems inside of different companies that work for those different companies. And a system provides security, and a system provides a track to run on. A system helps to build a culture. But it's your job to be able to create the engine that drives the system. This is the engine that drives the system right here. And then you can plan, do, review. And in plan, do, review, it's not always the tool. Sometimes there's a lot of self-examination that needs to go on. No one will listen to me. Well, why do you think that is? What do you need to do in order to be able to not be the person that no one listens to? Is there something in you? Do you need to work on your own personal development? Do you need to be reading books? Do you need to be listening to other audio programs? Do you need to be feeding your mind? Do you need to be protecting your mind against negative? Do you need to reinvent yourself? It's okay to reinvent yourself. I reinvented myself. Started the process at age 22, continued the process through my 20s, continuing today. But I had built a pattern of negativity, of slacking off, of bad software up until age 22, and then I saw an opportunity and I decided to change. So people can change. Sometimes the biggest person that needs to change is you. So if you're not getting the result, you got to examine all of it. What's your posture? What's your philosophy? Are you a predator or are you somebody who really cares about another human being? Are you a hunter or are you a farmer? People respond positively to a farmer. They're going to either freeze or run from a hunter. It's the way it is. So you got to ask the people. You know when some of the best feedback you can get is from people who said no. Just ask the people who said no. Can I ask you a question, and I'm not trying to play a game with you. Can you tell me why? Really? Behind all the stuff. During this process, did I make you feel uncomfortable in any way? Was it the opportunity? Was it the product? Was it me? Was it the process? Was it the event? Tell me what it was. I won't judge it. I won't try to change your mind. I just want to know. Will you help me with that? And then log that feedback and plan, do, review. Plan, do, review, plan, do, review, plan, do, review. It'll take you to world-class status in anything you want to do. But can you become world-class at this 8-step process? Yeah. You know, what's your number now that we've done it 5 or 6 times? I mean, how many people have gotten to a 9 or better? Look at that. That's 5, 6 times. Imagine when you've done it 500 or 600. When you walk out of here and you do it 3, 4, 5 times every day. It just becomes part of you. And then you teach it to a group of people. It becomes part of them, and you teach it to teach them to teach it to the next group. And then you have freedom. You're going to go from bondage to freedom through this process. That's why I'm so excited. I'll tell you this. I believe that there's going to be more million-dollar earners come out of this room than any room I've ever trained in my whole career. I really believe that. I believe that that's true because you're serious, because, you know, you've already been a student. You know, how many people have watched every single Network Marketing Pro video? 440 some. Unbelievable. How many people watch more than 100 of the videos? Wow. Wow. It's a humbling experience to start this little thing and, you know, just put it out there. And I will tell you, people thank me all the time, and I will say I'm the one who gets the most benefit just from the doing and just from the connecting to the resource. And I'd have thought I'd run out of things to talk about a long time ago. What's the future for Network Marketing Pro? Who knows? It's just an evolving thing. I will tell you the daily videos will continue. I slacked off this week just because I was busy doing this, but there will be, my ultimate goal is 10,000 videos up there. You know, we're approaching 5% of that. I'll be about 80, 85. I will. I mean, it'll be about 250 shows a year. You know, for every 10 years I'll have, every 10 years I'll have 2,500. So, but think about that. I mean, what kind of motivates me is Jim Rohn's one of my all-time heroes, and I learned so much from him. And I will never be a Jim Rohn, never, ever be a Jim Rohn. But I will tell you this, my wish is that the technology existed and the desire existed in Jim when he was 45 for him to do what I'm doing now, and that there was 10,000 Jim Rohn videos from him all over the world that you can go back to that would last for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. I mean, what a treasure that would be. And this is the big journey that all of us are going on, you know what I mean? We learn, we think, we grow, we adapt, we adjust. 15 years ago, it would have cost $500,000 to do what I do every day with a $200 flip cam. Literally, that's all I use is a little flip cam every single day to just share an idea and put it up there. And technology has connected us all in unique ways. And it's just kind of an honor, you know, to be connected to a great group of like-minded people that want something more for themselves and for their families and won't settle for what the world is handing out and forcing them to eat. You know, they just want to do more. And it's so anyway, being connected to that group is special and it's fun. And I will tell you, I consider myself a network marketing professional. I hope you do too, either a professional now or a professional in training. And here's the big thing that I hope happens out of this weekend. You become an ambassador. An ambassador, not just a distributor, an ambassador for network marketing. You become an example of the right things to do. You become one of the good people inside of our profession. Because if this room of 200, 250 people decides to become a network marketing professional, you can create a movement. You can create something that's so powerful and so special and sweeps around the world and changes not only your company, but our profession. Because 250 can turn into 2,500 in a blink of an eye if you become an ambassador. If you just stay a distributor, doesn't mean much. You become an ambassador for doing things right, for helping other people, for having the right mindset, for being a giver and not a taker, for being a farmer and not a hunter. Then we can be the change that we wish to see, as Gandhi said, be the change that you wish to see in the world. You know, that's what we have to look forward to. So it's an honor to do all this stuff. That you guys would fly here from 15 countries around the world. I mean, come on, pretty cool. So, a couple questions. Yeah, he's asking if we're going to put it on MP3 players and all that stuff. You know, Tim Berry is smiling back there in the corner because he helps me with some of the technology, and he shakes his head because, you know, I'm a very simple being, and once I start on a certain thing, I just continue to do the same thing, and I take my flip cam and I put it into my computer, and then I put it into Final Cut Express, and then I upload it to Vidler, and then I you know, publish it over to the website, and I put a little comment, and I send out a couple emails. I do that every day, right? I do it all myself, by myself. But it's not that big a deal. Not that big a deal. I don't think anybody else is going to be repeating it anytime soon, but it's not that big a deal. But I will tell you that there's technology that we should be pursuing and will be pursuing to be able to put it on iTunes and to be able to have it be downloadable and all those different kinds of things. There's a lot of things that we're looking to do, just so you know. We're looking to create a monthly magazine that we do inside of Network Marketing Pro, kind of a digital magazine every month with articles from lots of different people that would be free for subscribers. And you know, there's this next year I'm looking to do. One of the ultimate goals is to create a formalized Network Marketing Pro University where you would become certified as a network marketing professional. You'd learn all the different things. That's a lot of work, and we'd have to put all that stuff together. And like I say, in between building my own downline, which I do, and doing this and everything else that's going on. There's a book that'll be coming out, Becoming a Network Marketing Professional, that'll be coming out relatively soon, and it'll have a lot of this information, a lot of the information that you've heard before, a lot of this information from this weekend included in it. So that's something you can look forward to, and then this next year I'm looking to probably do 12 intensive webinars, one for each month, on a different topic. A very specific topic, but intensive with a workbook and the whole thing. You know, how to use social media or prospecting or whatever. There's 12 different topics for 12 different times of the year that we'll be doing that people could either purchase on a monthly basis or be able to have an annual subscription to. And I will tell you, just so you know, we've charged a little bit for this weekend, and I hope you felt like it was a worthwhile investment so far. Do you feel so? It takes a tremendous amount of investment of time and energy and bandwidth and everything else in order to be able to just do what we do. We haven't charged much for it, and I'm never going to charge for the daily videos. I'm just going to keep that up there as a resource for free. But there will be chances for people to dive a little deeper like this. For people who, to experience this, some people said, well, will you just put this up and will you stream it online? I just don't think it's the same thing. Do you think you could have gotten the same thing as this weekend? It's just, It's just awfully hard. So, you know, I really like, this is now my favorite function when it comes to real life training. I don't know how often I can do this type of an event, but long term, if maybe there was 3 or 4 of these a year, do one in Europe, do one in South America, do one here in the United States, maybe do one in Asia, you know, once a year that people could come to. Because how good would your business do if you had 10 people in your group at this event? It would do pretty good, huh? So, you know, those are some of the plans. So to give you kind of an idea on the plans of what the future is for Network Marketing Pro, we're just going to keep moving, and we're just going to keep learning, and new things are going to show up, and opportunities are going to show up, and maybe we'll come up with a Network Marketing Pro app, you know, that will do something cool. And I don't know. I mean, a lot of different things that we can do. Yeah.
Where do you see the profession or industry going forward?
What do I see for the future of the network marketing profession? About the same as it's always been. It's going to be the same. No, it's going to be the same as it's been for the last 10 years and the last 20 years. I mean, here's what I'm seeing. If I was to give you a view of the network marketing profession, there's a lot of people, because technology has exploded around the world, and social applications have exploded around the world, and Facebook is a monster. And I'm a huge Facebook fan. Twitter's also become, I'm a little less of a Twitter fan as I am of a Facebook fan, but you know, people are utilizing these different resources and they're doing all that, and they're thinking logically that network marketing should somehow attach itself to that. I will tell you, we are a face-to-face business. We're a real relationship business. There's been this wave of people trying to do online marketing. That's going to fade because it just doesn't duplicate. It just doesn't create wealth. That's going to fade, I promise you. So the people who are spending all the money on that, the only people making money are the people who are selling the programs inside of those programs. So there's a difference between what we do and what people are trying to tell you based upon other people's pain. Your upline's lying to you, your company's lying to you. You know, never talk to your friends and family again. Don't worry about it. You never have to do meetings. You never have to prospect. I mean, come on. It's never ever going to work. Network marketing is going to be what it always has been, which is a face-to-face, belly-to-belly, relationship-oriented business. Professionals will do well. Amateurs will come and they'll go. That's what I think the next 10 or 20 years looks like. Do I see the profession growing? You know, there are the haves and the have-nots inside of our profession right now. There are some companies that did not do very well inside of this last recession/depression, and we're small and we're wounded because of that. So there'll be some consolidation that goes on. There's going to be, right now I believe there's 13 different companies that are $1 billion or more inside of the network marketing profession, according to Direct Selling News. I think that number is going to grow. I think you'll see 15. I think you'll see 20. I think you'll see 25 people that do $1 billion a year or better. You know, what you want to hope is that you pick a company that can last with you the long term and do what it needs to do. So that's kind of what I see inside the profession. Richard could probably give you his perspective on that. Richard's an owner, and he's also been a long time been involved in the network marketing profession, so he knows very well. Lisa could also, she knows where all the bodies are buried inside of the network marketing profession. It's unbelievable, the stuff that she knows and the people that she knows. And you talk to this person, you know this person. I'm like, no, I've just been working. I don't know all these people. So anyway, they could give you their perspective, but I'll bet you they'd say about the same. There's going to be winners and losers like every economy. There's going to be people who accelerate, and there's going to be people who falter. There's going to be companies who make mistakes, and there's going to be leaders who make mistakes and have to, their changes are going to have to be made. And it's just the same as everything else. I mean, would Arthur Andersen stay in business for forever? We would have thought so, but they're not in business anymore. Would Enron going to be around for forever? Well, we would have thought so, but no, not going to be in business. So there's constant change, constant opportunity. Every single one of your companies will probably have a compensation plan change at some point in the future, and you're going to hate it, and you're going to have to deal with it, and you're going to have to go through it, and there's going to be leadership changes. And guess what? Top leaders from your companies are going to quit. Other leaders are going to come in. And you know what? That's just like it's always been, and it's never going to change. And once you accept the fact that, okay, ours isn't perfect, network marketing. It's just better. It's not perfect. It doesn't have everything figured out. It's just better. It's just better than anything else out there. So we have our freedom. The good news inside of the network marketing for the future is if you take care of the skills for you, you have nothing to worry about. Not a thing, because those skills will make a place for you. And you'll be able to always have security based upon your abilities. Your company blows up, your skills will make a place for you. It doesn't matter. You know, something happens, God forbid, your skills will make a place for you. You'll be fine. You know, so that's great security and great comfort, because you know what? Somebody who's 60 years old working in a Fortune 100 company right now, their skills do not make a place for them. Their skills don't really matter. They're just going to be overpaid, and they'll find a way to get rid of them, and they'll get trade them in for 2 30-year-olds. Because they're a function. They're not a human being. I mean, right now, we have an unlimited upside inside of what we do. Yeah. How often do you drill this into your team for the rest of your career? When you have new people, you're going to have getting people, brand new person trainings. You're going to have people getting together. You're going to have to role play it. If you do it this way, most of the teaching is done by the way that you prospect somebody. You're taught them how to do it based upon how you did it with them. So, and then you're going to have to teach them the process and walk through it. Yeah. I understand, and you know, I've struggled with this my whole career. We got to go to other topics. We got to train this. We got to train this. We got to train this. What do we do? Well, you know, how do we get back to this all the time? This is the gateway. Nothing happens unless somebody sponsors somebody. This is the gateway. So guess what? And I've been guilty of this too. I mean, I do my conventions, and we spend an hour on this, and we spend, you know, an hour on announcements, and an hour on motivation, and an hour on, you know, whatever. And then we have all the politics involved, and all the different top leaders have to get up on stage, and they all have to take their 20 minutes, and, you know, pretty soon there's nothing left to actually train anybody. So I've been guilty of this. That's why I'm saying this is the first time I've taken 2.5 days only on prospecting. Now, I'm going to continue to refine this and get it tight and get it better, and eventually maybe create just a product on this that's really tight, that people can just repeat over and over with lots of exercise and practice in it. I'll do that over the long term. But in the meantime, you're going to have to build this into your culture, and it's going to be work. And you know what it takes to build something into your culture? About a year before it becomes part of the culture. Some of my friends here, prepaid legal friends, and inside of their organization, I sold my old company, TPN, to Prepaid Legal, and a lot of those people are dear, dear friends of mine. And I think we created together one of the best cultures ever. I mean, the culture is so rock solid when it comes to tools, third party, edification, you know, attending events, doing everything, huh? No, I wouldn't say a lot because of me. I'd say part because of me, what we did as a team. I would just say there's a lot of people involved in that process, but I will tell you, the culture took a while. We were able to build it at TPN because we had a television network, and we could talk to everybody in their living rooms every day. And we could build a culture that way, but then it translated into this, and they've done an extraordinary job. But I will tell you, it's going to take, once you decide to make a decision on this, to build a culture inside your organization, it's going to take a year, minimum. And then you have to maintain it after that. But it's going to take a year of you leaning on it, pushing on it, talking about it, until everybody's sick of it. You just got to continue to hammer it and then tell the stories about people who are doing it and getting results. Alice. Mm-hmm. Yep. Right. Your upline prides itself on we don't do events, we don't do meetings, and they could add one more statement to that. We don't have growth, we don't have security, we don't have income, we don't have wealth, we don't have residual, we don't have passive. I understand, but you have to, at some point you have to judge results. Just take a look at the results. Are you getting the results that you want to get? Is he getting the results? Anybody that says that you can do this without being face-to-face, I've never seen it. Somebody could say, I'm going to do this without doing events. Richard, have you ever seen a company go long-term without doing events? If you do all your prospecting on the internet, yeah, he's laughing. Because, right, it's hard, right, to create duplication, to create culture. Events and face-to-face is what creates culture. So I will just tell you, we've been around a long time, some of us in this room. We got to look at what works and what doesn't. I'm not going to tell you what to do inside of your organization. You got to make your decision for yourself. If you want to follow your upline's culture, if you want to do that, if you want to create your own events, if you want to be able to make that stuff happen. One thing that was exciting for me is I heard during the break a bunch of people listen to the 1,000-person story in 90 days and said, okay, well, maybe we should do something like that. Maybe we should set a big goal. Maybe we should book the venue. Maybe we should start making something like that happen. Because I will tell you, it's the same thing as I could say, hey, we do all this stuff online. I give you Network Marketing Pro online. I mean, this event's not necessary. I'll just give it to you 5 minutes at a time for the next year. You're going to get the same result? You're just not. Plus the people that you meet and the belief that you build and getting away from your, everything else that you're doing. So, all right, we got to get back. Let's get back into indirect. Pull open your scripts, page 9. All right, I want you to practice the very first one. This is one of the best in the world for a person just getting started. If you have a person just getting started and is nervous, is scared, is insecure. How many people in this room are a little bit nervous right now and insecure right now? Okay, this is a great one for you. Where you go to somebody and say, listen, I've just gotten involved with something. I'm really excited about it, but I'm nervous. I need a friendly face. I need somebody I can practice on. Can I practice on you? Please? Can I just practice on you? I need somebody who's not going to, make fun of me if I make mistakes and if I say the wrong thing. Can I practice on you? Is that okay? What are they going to say? Yeah, of course, I'm here to help. Oh, thank you. Listen, I have a DVD, and here's what they told me to do. Is say, if I gave this DVD to you, would you watch it? No, I'm just teasing. But you could literally do that if you wanted to. If I gave you a DVD, would you watch it? Just as a friend, just so I can practice. I got to see, because they tell me that if people can understand it, that's really my goal, is to get people to understand it. And I'm afraid I'm going to say the wrong thing. I need a friendly face. Will you be that friendly face? All right, cool. Then you just go through the process, okay? So I'm nervous, I'm afraid, I'm kind of insecure, I'm looking to, will you help me? Okay? So reds, I want you to do that to greens. And even if it's not your nature, I want you to do it anyway, just so you can teach it to somebody when they join your organization that is your nature. Lisa? All right, fine. Greens, you go first. Go to the reds, for crying out loud. You know what's fun? I'm seeing a lot of bigger smiles because I know a lot of you came in here scared out of your minds. And I've just talked to some people during the break that are saying, oh my gosh, in 5 or 6 or 7 times I got it and it's feeling comfortable and I can do this, and I could teach this, and this will work for me. Okay, how many people felt a little bit more comfortable this last round? Wow. 7 or 8 times is all. That's it. You hear it, you repeat it, you hear it, you repeat it. How many people feel like you can teach this? Yeah. I'm so excited. How many people feel like these skills will help you go get those 20 people in a 30-day period of time? You have the gift. Isn't it interesting when you've been the one being prospected? Did you feel good during the process? And it's different than what you thought. You feel like you're imposing when you're not using this approach. When you're going to prospect somebody, you feel like they're giving you a gift just by listening. That you're imposing on them. That you're intruding on them. And now what I wanted you to realize is to feel the fact that you're giving them a gift. You make them feel better. You make them feel respected. You make them feel important. You make them feel valued. So every time you prospect someone, you're going to make them feel better, whether or not they say yes. They're going to feel better just from the process. Isn't that different than maybe what you thought they were feeling? Annoyed, bothered. When you do it wrong, you will annoy them. You will bother them. Do you have a question?
In the past, the way I thought I was doing it right, I always felt like the person that I was prospecting was in control of the mood.
Right.
With this way, even though I'm given the gift and feeling in control, it doesn't feel like it's a dominant control, but I do feel more important.
Yeah, you're just in charge. She was just saying in the past she felt like the prospect controlled the mood. You control the mood. You're in total control. You're in total charge. This should build your self-confidence every time you do it. Now, you're going to stumble when you get outside of this friendly room. Right? During the dinner break, I'm going to give you an assignment. And I'll tell you what it is now before we get to the dinner break. But the dinner break is, I want you to meet one person outside of this room. I want you to build a little rapport. I want you to ask them where they're from. And then from that process, I want you to go through this with them, these 8 steps, with one person. Okay? One person. Develop a connection with them. However you got to do it, meet them, however you're going to meet them. And then make an invitation. And it might be to, just say, look, I've got some things I can give you if you're prepared. If you're not prepared, hey, could I get an address and I'll send it to you if you're not prepared, right? Or you can set up, what are you doing tomorrow morning? Would you like to have breakfast, or maybe later on we can have a soft drink or something? I'm done at 9:30. Maybe we can just chat. Whatever. Figure it. Set up a face-to-face. Send them some information or give them some information between 5 and 7. Okay? How many people are prepared to do that? All right, see? Now we're going to take it outside of this room. We're going to turn it into real life. Okay? And then later on tonight and tomorrow, I'm going to give you a pretty aggressive assignment when we finish the day, when we finish the weekend, for when you go back for the next 30 days. It's going to be an extremely aggressive assignment if you're prepared to do it. And then, like I said, what we said with this whole experience, we're going to continue to stay together as a group. We're going to stay together for the next couple months, feedback, follow up, do the different things that we need to do. Okay? Tom, did you have a question? You have a prospect set up for tonight? Excellent. Yeah, well, that's okay. Well, if you've already got one set up and it's going to be hard to meet a new person, no problem. I hope everybody has that same problem. Yes? Yeah. Somebody on your chicken list knows that you're involved in the business?
Yeah.
Honesty goes a long way. Just say, you know what, I've been intimidated to call you. Because I think you're just so powerful. You know, you're such a big shot, and I'm not a big shot. And so I've been afraid to call you. You know, you can use a super indirect approach with them, and I'll talk about that in a moment. Hold on one second. Go ahead. I'm sorry, about? Well, see if you can find somebody in Holland and Belgium. If you can't, it's okay. Just practice. You just practice. Just meet somebody and talk to them. Find out what's going on in their life. You know, you don't need to go through an invitation. You can ask people, do you know anybody in Belgium and Holland? Do you know anybody in Belgium and Holland? Find a pub someplace, you know, or someplace that might have a soccer game on or something, you know, who knows. Get creative, but, you know, again, if you can't prospect somebody fully because you can't find somebody from that area, what I would just say is just strike up a conversation, meet somebody, find out what's going on with them, what are their hopes and dreams, whatever. You know, just be a real human being. Yeah? Yeah. Okay, you first.
I just want to ask, we were back on this last thing about working with a new person that's scared to death or whatever. We hadn't been talking about being in a hurry, you know, telling them to be in a hurry. But we always, no matter what, even if they're talking to somebody they know and ask them for a favor to take a look at this, they should say, just got a minute.
You should always do, the question is, you always say that you're in a hurry? The answer is yes. You always set a tone of urgency if you can. I only have a minute. I apologize. But it's really important that I talk to you, right? It'll set the tone, it'll reduce the questions, and it'll set up the process better. I mean, you don't have to do it. It's just going to change your results by 30 or 40%. Yeah. Mortgage brokers convention at the MGM. Here's what I will tell you. It doesn't matter. Guess what? There's people outside this room that are looking for opportunity. 49%, somebody said, 49% real unemployment here in Nevada. Is that real? That's what the police officer said? That's just wild. But 20% nationwide, people are coming here as a Reese. They're looking for opportunity, right? We have the gift. And every interaction that you have, you're going to make people feel better for just having met you with a big smile on your face and giving them energy and having fun and doing the thing. All right, I want you to do another role play right now, and here's the role play. This is play yourself down, play up to their ego. Play yourself down, play up to their ego. And here's what I mean by that. Gosh, I've found something I really like, but I've always admired that you're so powerful and amazing and money earning, and you have influence over people that I could only dream of having, and you're so powerful and amazing, and I'm just trying to figure out a way to move up in the world. Would you do me the favor of lending some of your wisdom to me? Would you look at this and tell me what you think with your experience? And if this thing has merit, if you think this thing will really go where it needs to go, would you do that for me if I made it easy on you? Yeah. Not to offend, but ladies, you know how to do this. You've been doing it to control every man in your life for forever, starting with your father. Daddy, you're so amazing. I only need $20. Using it to control the whole world. The whole world. Play yourself down. You're so big and strong. How'd you get so big and strong? Would you do me the favor, if I made it easy, would you look at this and tell me in your professional, educated, experienced opinion, if you think that this thing that I'm involved with, growing in this market, has potential? Would you do that for me? Okay? Got it? There's no exact script, but play yourself down, play up to their ego. You're powerful, strong, impressive, wise, educated, experienced, and I need your wisdom. Yeah, I'm really glad that I caught you. I don't have a lot of time. I only have a few minutes, but it's so important. And thank you so much for taking a minute to talk with me. I've always respected this. I've admired this. And I have a need of your help. And then off you go. Okay? So, greens, pick a red that you have not picked yet. Play yourself down. Play up to their ego. Go through 8 steps. Ready? Go.